So I get a note the other day from my old buddy Cindy Adams at the New York Post. I knew that would get Snerdley's attention. If you're a New Yorker, the name Cindy Adams makes you perk up for any number of reasons. I first met Cindy Adams shortly after arriving. It was one night at dinner at Patsy's, and she had her husband with her who did not like me and half the night did not remember who I was, but kept cracking jokes about things, and she kept poo-pooing. Just shut up, Joey, just shut up. And Joey'd go back to the rigatoni. And she was trying to learn who I am. Joey and the gang at Patsy's had set it up. And one of the most famous nights I ever had with Cindy Adams was she invited me to be her guest at a private HBO screening of some television movie. I don't even remember what it was. But it was everybody in the HBO liberal establishment that showed up, and she wanted to walk in with me. And they could not believe it. And it was so much. I saw Joy Behar, who I hadn't seen in 20 years, and I went up and gave her a hug, and she reacted like I was Matt Lauer. And she turned around, get your hands off of me. And she turned around and saw, what are you doing here? Why are you here? How did he get in here? She's looking around. It was like a foreign invader had gotten into their party. I remember I walked up to Bob Balaban, who had something to do with producing the movie. He produced one of my all-time favorite movies called Gosford Park. And I walked up to him, and I started complimenting him on Gosford Park, and all he could do is stare at me like, what is he doing here? And why does he like what I did? During the screening of this movie, Cindy Adams and I are seated right in front of Susan Sarandon, who leans forward during the movie and says to Cindy, Cindy, do you realize what a photo op you've put together here? Nobody would believe it. So anyway, it was fun. We went to dinner after that. Tina Brown and Sir Harry Evans. I mean, literally, folks, the entire New York entertainment glitterati were at this thing. And she had the guts to take me. And, of course, I had the guts to go. But they're all looking around. Like, what? Why are you here? How did you get in? Anyway, Cindy Adams does something special. You know, she's a big animal lover. And she, this Sunday, at Christ Church, 60th and Park, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she has a prayer day for the animals, where if you want to, you can take your gerbils, you can take your cats, you can take your dogs to this church, and there will be a church service and prayer for the animals. It's the 9th one of these that Cindy has sponsored. It's Christ Church, 60th and Park at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now, she has reservations. I think she's aware that 700 animals with their parents, as she says, will be jamming the church. But anybody and everybody is welcome. And she wanted to remind me of this. There will be pigs and llamas and alpaca, and as I say, some will no doubt bring gerbils, dogs, cats, birds, turtles, fish in bowls. It's the 9th one. And she does this. She's an animal lover, and she thinks the animals need to have their own worship service during the holidays. Obviously, it's for the pet owners, but it's also for the animals, too. In fact, the headline of her piece is the prayers for the animals. So Christ Church, can you imagine a church agreeing to this? So it's December 3rd. It's just a couple days this weekend, 60th and Park, which is, hey, folks, I mean, 60th and Park, that's right in the heart of what you would call the elite. It's one of their churches where this is going to happen.